my name is Gina Lee, and welcome to my first YouTube video. I've tried to film YouTube videos quite a few times previously, like within the past few years, and I've just never had the go get it and do it kind of attitude about it. I always just film it and be like, oh my god, no, and then I would delete it. But I'm forcing myself to do something that makes me uncomfortable as exposure therapy. I'm partially kidding. So, a little background. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Western North Carolina. I am super big into art, mental health, fitness, all of the fun things that everyone's into nowadays. But I do have a little bit of a different perspective on some of them, so I am gonna use this channel to share that. I hope you're excited and I hope you're ready. Today's video is actually going to be a Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Snapchat and you all did that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're gonna answer those. Please excuse me having to reach down to grab that. My cat just freaked out, Pickles, and jumped off the... Are you gonna come hang out? He might come hang out actually. He freaked out and knocked off a bunch of my stuff, so love him. He's great. What a cutie. Question number 1. Anonymous said, what made you want to start the channel? Well, thank you for asking. Oh gosh, what did make me want to start the channel? A couple different things. I'm not going to feed you the BS and be like, oh, I wanted to start the channel because I want to make people's lives better. Absolutely, yes, I definitely want to do that. But let's just start and be honest for a second. Part of the reason I wanted to start this YouTube channel is because I am a yapper. I could talk until my breath runs out, okay? That is something my friends actually say about me. They say, if Gina's not talking, you really need to check on her because she's not well. Because I just never shut up. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I've just always got something to freaking say. So might as well put that to good use. I'm very, very extroverted. And I never shut up. So I figured, what should I do with that? Make a YouTube channel, make a podcast, which I plan on doing both of those things. I'm very, very excited about both of these. But another portion of the reason I started this YouTube channel is to share my insight on just different topics, a lot of which have to do with mental health and mental health struggles. I have come from a place where I was not wanting to exist anymore and wanted to just flip the off switch. And now I still do struggle, but I am much, much better than I was and much more stable than I used to be. So I just kind of want to share the things that have helped me. I am in no way, shape, or form a licensed therapist. If you need one, get one. Don't use me as a licensed therapist because I'm not. But I am happy to share my insight and share kind of what's helped me and what hasn't, and also my perspective on the world, because I do think I have a little bit of a unique perspective on things. So yeah, it's just kind of using this as a diary and also a way to share my perspective and to help people if they find it helpful. If they don't, I'm sorry. Maybe find someone else who you find helpful. But I guess you'll just have to see. I guess you just have to keep watching and keep watching this channel to see if you find me helpful. If not, I get that. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, that's the best answer I'm going to give you on number 1. I'm sorry. Number 2, Anonymous said, I'm also from Asheville, so how did you fare during Hurricane Helene? Hopefully yourself and your family were okay and safe. I was very, very lucky, along with my family and my friends. We were all very, very lucky as far as the hurricane goes. We all live somewhat at like elevated positions in Western North Carolina, and not near large bodies of water, so we were very, very lucky. My work, where I work, is a little bit of a different story, but still not bad. It has been incredibly devastating to see everything that's happened after Helene, to watch businesses and places that I grew up with, and me and my friends and family, places we all grew up with, and people we loved, and just to kind of like watch it get taken away has been really, really difficult. But I can't complain and say that I've been bad. I do have a little bit of survivor's guilt because I did fare so well during the hurricane and I was safe. I didn't even truthfully realize how bad the hurricane was until I left the portion of town I was in to go back to my apartment. And the entire River Arts District next to the French Broad River was completely underwater. And there was trees down everywhere and power lines, and I knew at that point, I was like, oh my God, this is so much more serious than I was aware of. So during the time period after the hurricane, I've just been trying to help people kind of recover and donate, and check in on people and do what I can, since I was so lucky with the hurricane. But it has been very, very difficult. Lots of tears have been shed about the whole thing. I'm not going to be a baby and cry on here right now, because I think I cried like 6 times yesterday about who knows. But it has been very, very difficult. So, yeah. Physically, good. Mentally, it's been hard. But like I said, survivor's guilt, I can't be too upset. I also want to say thank you for asking that question and for checking in on me and my family. I do appreciate it greatly. And I also hope that you and your family were safe as well. Number 3, Ken said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay, so I like this one here. I've never been someone to plan for the future, because the way I grew up, we were always just taught, like, girl, you could die while you're sleeping, you know? It was cute stuff to teach to a child. But, so I never planned for the future, because I was always like, tomorrow's my last day. Not at a job. It's like, tomorrow's my last day. So I never planned for the future, but now I think I started thinking about the fact that I'm a real person who possibly has a future whenever I first moved out a few years ago. So as far as 5 years from now, I am trying to plan a little bit. This is the first time in my life I'm actually trying to plan past like a year, right? I plan to move to Oregon, and I plan to be doing stuff with my artwork. I'm really into tattooing. I actually do some tattooing myself. I'm not a professional. Let me just go ahead and say that right now. I do tattoos on myself, and I've been doing that for about a year now. And I do enjoy it incredibly. Asheville is very oversaturated as far as the tattoo market goes, so I was planning on moving out before the hurricane anyways, and that's just the little kick in the rump I think I needed to really start planning it. So hopefully within 5 years I'll be in Oregon and doing something with my art, whether that's tattooing or doing more painting and selling those paintings. I've got so many paintings that I need to sell that just sit in my apartment that I refuse to do anything with. I have a lot of emotional attachments to a lot of them because I use painting as an emotional release. But I do want to sell artwork or make artwork to sell, so hopefully Oregon's going to be good for that. If not, I guess I'll have to find something else to do, but I do plan to be in Oregon within the next 5 years. Number 4, what was your first pet? My first pet was actually a leopard gecko. Little gecko. Yeah, she's adorable. Her name is Gaia. I've had her since I was, I think, 19. I was never allowed to have a pet when I was growing up because my dad is allergic to cats, and my parents just in general did not trust us to take care of an animal. And we just got told horror stories a lot about animals and pets and all that jazz. So we weren't allowed to have pets. Fun fact, they have a dog. My little sister has a dog, or 2 dogs. Figures, right? But I have a gecko, and I love her. I also have a cat, as I was saying earlier. Name is Pickles. He's amazing. Oh, her name. Did I already say her name? I don't know. But her name's Gaia. I don't know if I said that already. She's adorable. Number 5, Anonymous said, do you have a skincare routine? And if so, what is it? So, I do actually have a skincare routine, but you guys are going to flame me for it because it's not great. I'm not going to look at you and tell you that my skincare routine's great or that I'm a dermatologist, because I'm the farthest thing from that. I'm not licensed to do quite literally anything, and definitely not a dermatologist. But we'll just run through it a little bit. So let's say I have a full face of makeup on like I do right now, right? And I want to go take it off. I use the CeraVe cleansing balm for things like waterproof mascara or really stubborn makeup that just doesn't come off very easily with a traditional liquid cleanser. I use that. Stuff works great. And then I use the Neutrogena Hydro Boost liquid cleanser. I've gotten some hate for that one before, but to To be honest, it did clear up my skin when I was 16, so I've been using it ever since then. I've been using that cleanser for 6 years. It might not actually be working for me anymore. I think my skin was more oily back then, and now it's a little bit on the drier side. So I think it's actually dehydrating my skin quite a bit. I might need to switch it. If you guys have recommendations, please drop those in the comments because I've been a little crusty lately. I also use on my good days, which is, I would say, I use sunscreen 80% of the time. I was using the brand Sisnic, which is SICNIC. I was using their sunscreen. I literally cannot find the sunscreen that I was using anywhere. So I had to switch to the Neutrogena oil-free 70 SPF sunscreen. It works fine. I do not like it as much, but it gets the job done and I don't burn. So that's what matters. It also helps kind of to make my makeup stick a little better whenever I use it. It kind of acts as a primer. It's a very grippy sunscreen. And then, oh gosh, girl, you're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate this. I use the Clean and Clear Salicylic Acid Lotion. I know. Before you go and comment, like, girl, that stuff's got battery acid in it. I think I'm aware of that. I think so. I used to use the gray one, which they literally don't make anymore. I don't know why they stopped making it. Maybe that one actually had battery acid in it. Well, even if it did, it cleared up my skin when I was 16. And that was my holy grail for years and years and years, for like 5 years. The Hydra Boost Cleanser and the Clean and Clear Salicylic Acid Lotion were the things that kept my skin always like very, very clear, very healthy. They don't make it anymore. So I still use a Clean and Clear Salicylic Acid Lotion. However, I don't really like it that much. It does okay. It kind of burns too. So I don't recommend it. CeraVe makes good lotions though, I think, for your face. So if you guys are looking for recommendations, I think CeraVe's good. That's what I've heard. I also use retinol serum at nighttime. I use the CeraVe retinol serum. I do actually like that. I think it's good for my skin. If it's not, tell me and I'll get something else, unless it's super expensive, and then you can just keep the recommendation to yourself. If you share it, I'll just look at it and be like, okay, cool, not doing that. I respect it if you have the money. I mean, it's not even necessarily about having the money. I'm just such a cheapskate when it comes to different stuff. If it like will absolutely deliver the results that I'm wanting, I'll spend the money on it. But until I know that though, like unless I have me a little free sample, I'm not dropping $50 on a moisturizer, okay? No, I'm not dropping $50 on anything without knowing that it's good. And people say, $50 isn't that much money. I don't care if it's that much money or not. Unless it's going to give me good results, I'm not buying it. That's why I stuck to old tried and true that I've been using since I was 16, and now they don't make it anymore. So, actually drop those skincare routines. I'll look into them. Let me make sure that I didn't skip over a question. I'm really good at that. I actually didn't. Number 6, Jared said, do you have in plan any overarching theme or ideas you expect this channel to follow? Or will it be more like variety content? Thank you, Jared. That was a fantastic question. Okay. Yes, I do somewhat have a plan for this YouTube channel. Like I was saying earlier, I have been through a lot with my mental health and my mental health journey. I'm actually diagnosed with bipolar disorder, along with a few other cute little things on that psych chart. But I just want to share kind of what I've learned and what has helped me, and also share things from a very realistic perspective. I feel like when it comes to mental health, people like to forget sometimes that there's a gray area. They either want to think of things like rainbows and unicorns, like everything's great. You're never doing anything wrong. If you're sad, it's never, you're never doing anything that could be affecting that. It's just because life is on you like that, and it's not your fault. And then there's also people like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, you're doing everything wrong, that's why you're sad, blah, 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 blah. There's a gray area, and I kind of tend to fall there. Yeah, being bipolar, I go a little bit back and forth between the two, but I do feel like it's important to kind of share the gray area. So I plan on just sharing my perspective on stuff about mental health, and then doing some real life topics that I find to be very important. I'm going to film a video soon, hopefully, about financial stability, and then kind of how to organize your finances, what can help, what's hurting, and just a lot of different stuff. Like I was saying before, I'm a big talker, so you can just go ahead and bet that there's going to be videos on this channel. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that. I think my cat is breaking everything in my kitchen right now. That or it's the ice maker. Or the demon that apparently lives in my house. That's a joke, by the way. I don't think there's a demon in my house, but everyone says there is. Maybe it's me. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Don't take that too seriously. So yeah, I kind of just want to share my insight on different things that have helped, what's hurt, and I want to share some of my stories because I've been told that I'm a good storyteller, and my God, do I have some crazy stories for you guys. I think I might do a whole section on this YouTube channel that's just dedicated to story times and just retelling stories because I'm very, very animated. Very, very animated, and I want to share some different stuff like that with you guys. I think that if you don't enjoy it, I'll at least laugh watching it back. So I also want to share the things that have helped save my life, quite literally. So instead of just like broader, I want to share the things that have really made the biggest difference in my perspective, because I was the biggest negative Nancy out there. I still can be pretty negative, don't get me wrong, but my God, has it changed. I was bad, really, really unwell, and now I'm like okay, I'm like decent. I have bad days, but I have really good days, you know, and maybe that's the bipolar disorder, but my God, I didn't have it managed before, that's for sure. So I'm excited to share all that with you guys. Also want to say that it's not just going to be about mental health. That's going to be the overarching theme, as Big Word Jared said. I appreciate you, man. But I also want to just share stuff about art and fitness and lifestyle. And hell, who knows? Maybe if I, for some reason, do get into skincare, I'll share that as well. That would be so awesome. I just want to share so many different things and show you guys different parts of my life. If I'm going to be quite honest, this is a little bit embarrassing. I kind of use my Snapchat private story as a YouTube channel anyways, and I'm sure that those 20 people are probably tired of watching a super long Snapchat story. Oh my gosh, what is happening? What is he doing? Pickles, come here. Pickles. Come here. Pickles, come here. I think he's trying to get in the treat box. God, he's such a baby. I fed him multiple times today, by the way. He's just a brat. He's a sweet brat, but he's a brat. What else? Just want to say that I'm super excited to share my life and grow with you all. I'm super stoked about that. I also want to let you guys know, just to touch a little bit more on the whole podcast thing, I am stoked for this freaking podcast, y'all. I'm absolutely stoked for this. Beyond belief. I have been planning on doing this podcast for 2 years. This YouTube channel is not going to be fitness or one thing or whatever. I'm going to have different sections and a lot of different things. A podcast is going to be one of them. And I am thrilled for this podcast, y'all. Okay. I've got a lot of different stuff planned, which I'm not going to touch into a whole lot right now. But don't you worry. Don't you worry, honey. There is going to be a podcast. I don't know if you care. Whatever. But I've got a lot of stuff planned for the podcast, and I'm just, like I said before, absolutely thrilled. And if you want to watch it, great. If you don't, that's fine. I'll watch it. But I also want to let you know that once the podcast gets rolling a little bit, I do plan on having people on the podcast and letting people join in and just, having good discussions with people and discussing different topics, hard topics, fun topics, whatever. Just really diving into all that. So I'm just thrilled. Like I said before, I'm going to say that word quite a bit because I'm absolutely thrilled. All right. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all, and I will see you guys soon.